All right, so today I hit legs today. Again, kind of doing my own thing. I'm gonna start doing that instead of sticking to that program because it felt better than I have in a while with the shoulder and stuff. It's not as like intense. I'm able to still get what I want to get in, still feel good afterwards. So, but today I did legs. I did 3 sets of 10 reps of squats, 3 sets of 10 reps of hamstring bridge curls. So we had like these furniture sliders. So you bridge up on it and out, maintaining that bridge. It's a crazy burn. It's wild. Elevated single leg bridging. So throwing your leg on a like a bench, or like we have mats at the clinic that I use. So on there, one leg up in the air, bridge up. I switched to the time on these, so I did 30 seconds for 3 sets. And then last, but certainly not least, monster walk. So classic, wrapped around band, wrapped around your knees, kind of into a squat position, shuffling back and forth. Tried to hit like 3 to 5 steps per side. I did time for this one as well, the 30 seconds, 3 sets. But yeah, trying to hit that 3 to 5 step each side, kind of within that 30 seconds. But anyway, today we're going to talk about cell signaling, again, hormones. We're gonna get into the bulk of it, so the receptors, how this stuff starts to kind of work. We're gonna have two main types. We have direct membrane receptors and nuclear receptors. Nuclear receptors are going to be mostly how like steroids work. So you're actually going to see the hormone go actually through the cell membrane and go into the nucleus of the cell. It's going to tell that cell to do, most of the time, make proteins, to be like, hey, we need to increase production. And if it can, cell's going to be like, all right, cool, and then produce more protein or whatever it needs to write. Direct membrane receptors are going to be your classic on top of the cell membrane, waiting there for something to bind to it, and then it'll do something, depending on what type it is, because we have two type of direct membrane receptors. We have the second messenger system ones, which basically it's like a game of telephone. So something's going to bind to that receptor. Receptor's going to be like, hey, we need to do this. It's going to send that signal to something else inside the cell that'll tell another thing to do its thing, and then the thing will happen. I don't know if that makes sense. Basically, it's just a step-by-step process that eventually will get there, but it's just a kind of, game of telephone. You're calling someone to do something, who calls someone to do something, who does the thing. Next one is alteration membrane transporters. So these are going to actually change how the membrane not works, but like it's going to add something to it. Biggest example of this is insulin. So like insulin's going to bind to the receptor. It's going to be a bunch of different steps, but eventually GT4 receptor is going to rise to the surface and allow glucose to flow into the cell. So those are our main type of receptors.